Yo, it's your boy Straight Boss OV8 from Straight Smoke Gaming, and I'm doing a little video here without Orb Smoke or the rest of the crew. It's a little video that I've been wanting to do for a while, and this was a good week to do it due to MC businesses and clubhouses being on sale. This is going to be a guide to what I feel is the best business locations for your MC businesses. Again, this is all opinion, so keep that in mind. If you have businesses that are different than mine, obviously you're going to feel like you have better ones. In this video I'm going to explain why I think most of my businesses locations are the best ones, but you know, you're obviously free to have your own opinion, and if you disagree with me at all, go ahead and comment why and tell me why I'm full of it. And if you agree with me, go ahead and drop a like on this video. Alright, first we're getting into the clubhouses. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. It really doesn't matter which clubhouse you pick. The La Mesa Clubhouse, that is in a gang area, so keep that in mind. If you fire a gun and you're near the La Mesa Clubhouse, you're going to get shot at by NPCs. You can see the clubhouse I have. It was the free one that's up in the Grand Sonora Desert. I don't mind that one at all. These Pluto Bay ones, I'm not a fan of really anything in Pluto Bay, and I'll explain why a little bit later. But yeah, as far as picking the clubhouse, it's really not that big of a deal because you're not selling from the clubhouse. The only thing you're doing from that is doing MC contracts. You got to be at your clubhouse before you do an MC contract, and those pay absolutely bad anyway. So, alright, so here I am in my clubhouse. Not all clubhouses look the same. I've been in other people's clubhouses, and they have a little bit different setup, which I thought was kind of cool. But you got to go to the office area of your clubhouse. It's normally a little small room, and you have your laptop there. There's also the gun locker is in there if you got the gun locker. And then you get onto the computer here, and this is where you buy your businesses, even if you want to change your businesses, anything like that. So we're going to go through all these businesses. This is going to be a lengthy video, so I apologize right up front, but there is 5 businesses to talk about. So I'm going to explain each location for the most part. We're going to start off with the most profitable MC business, and that's the Coke House. As you can see, I own the one right off Alamo Sea, and the other options are Island Island, there is Pluto Bay, and Morningwood. I used to have the Pluto Bay one way back when. I've learned that that is not so good since then, so I do not have that anymore. I'm going to say I think the Alamo Sea, the one I have, is the best. I really do like that one, and I would say Morningwood would probably be the second best location. I've sold from there, and that isn't too deep in the city. Island Island and Pluto Bay, you really don't want any business. Really, you don't want any business that is literally at one end of the map, all the way north or all the way south. And yeah, I can tell you, Island Island is very south on the map, almost as south as it gets. It's by the docks. And Pluto Bay is the exact opposite. It is all the way north. So there's Island Island. There's where you're going to be selling your Coke from if you get that one or move to that one. I do not recommend that. And then you sell to the desert. Always take the always sell for the higher amount, which is further away. You make more money that way. It is not worth it selling the shorter route. And you're just giving away money. And here you can see you got to go by the casino. Like, you're gonna be taking that big highway there, and you're getting guaranteed one of your 3 vehicles will be going on that highway, and you're going right past the casino, which is extremely popular. So I prefer selling from the desert into the city so that I'm not going to get griefed right off the start. There's Pluto Bay, and you're going from, yeah, I think that building right there is the actual coke house that I had before. That's the Pluto Bay one, and you sell from up there all the way down here. So you get post-ops or whatever. It's a long, real grindy type of sale. So I do not recommend getting Pluto Bay or Isian Island. I highly recommend the Alamo Sea right there, as you can see, my coke house. I think that is the best. Morningwood, it would be my second choice. I really got nothing too bad to say about that. You can see it's towards the north of the city, so it doesn't take you too long to get up into the desert and start making drops. Alright, moving on to the second most profitable MC business is the meth. You see I have the Grand Sonora Desert location. Again, I believe that is the best one of the 4. You have Pluto Bay, Terminal, and El Burro Heights. Now, I did make the mistake when I was starting out. Oh no, take that back. I did not buy the Pluto Bay meth. I did not. I waited until I watched the professionals' videos on where to put your MC businesses. And if you haven't watched the professional, if you watch GTA YouTube, you know who the professional is, and he gives really good tips on as to why selling from the desert from the desert to the city is better than the city to the desert. And basically the gist of is, if once you're in the desert, it's really wide open, you know. You're much more easy of a target. At least when you're in the city, you have you can use buildings to your advantages. If you're in garbage trucks, you have the little alleyways. You could drop proximity mines out the window and take out someone that is following you, chasing you down, and that does happen. I've had it happen to me numerous times. People just come in with their Karuma or another bigger car, and they purposely slam into my sale vehicle and throw some sticky bombs, and before you know it, your sale's over. So here's the spawn point. That was the spawn point for the seaplanes if you're selling from the city into the desert, and you have to go over those mountains in Pluto Bay. Well, you don't have to, but you try to take a shortcut. And I'm not the seaplanes. No. Just have your businesses in the desert. Okay, moving on to third best is Counterfeit Cash. This one was free for me because of the Criminal Enterprise pack. So, well, I guess it's not free because you did have to pay for the Criminal Enterprise pack, but you get the gist. Okay, there is a Pluto Bay one, there is a Cypress Flats one, and there is the Vespucci Canals one. Now, I'm going to say this one I know the least about because I don't think I've really sold anyone's Counterfeit Cash from one of these other locations. So I will say Pluto Bay is just absolutely horrible. I can tell you that right now because it's location. Anything with Pluto Bay is bad. Do not touch. Cypress Flats that's down near the docks. Vespucci Canals, that is really close to the I'm gonna say it's close to the Vespucci Clubhouse that you could buy. So that is like pretty much just off the beach. It'd be really close to your seaplane spawn point if you're selling from the city to the desert. All right, moving on to weed. Now, this is going to be the first business that I honestly think that I do not have the best location. So, believe it or not, yeah, not everything. You know, I'm open to criticism, and I honestly do not think I have the best weed. Mount Chiliad, that was my first weed business. Do not be deceived by Mount Chiliad. That is actually in Pluto Bay, and I had some dreadful sells from up there. I learned my lesson. Luckily, I did have 3 MC businesses at one point up there, but this is the best one here, downtown Vinewood. This is the one that I think is the best, just because it is so north of the city. When you're selling to the desert, you're going to be in the desert in no time. It's right across the street essentially from my nightclub, but I have sold from that one. This is the one I own. The mountain range, Chaneski mountain range, and we'll go ahead and show you where that is exactly. Right there. And that's pretty north. That's too north for me, honestly. So yeah, I agree. I do not have the best weed, and obviously you're coming down that big highway right by the casino. Everyone knows the casino's a hot spot. There's always chodes there, and they see the little global signal come out, and they'll for sure mess with you. So yeah, I'm not a fan of even my own weed. Right there is the downtown Vinewood location, and before you know it, you're already making drops in the desert in no time. So yeah, downtown Vinewood, absolutely by far the best weed location for the MC business. So again, your seaplanes will spawn. You're going to have a little bit of a distance to get over to the seaplanes, and even further distance to get to the helicopters. The helicopters spawn into the airport. So, but if you have a Mark II, it's not so bad. If you don't have a Mark II, yeah, it's going to be a little difficult. That's a little bit of a drive to get to the vehicles. And obviously, in my ratings, I'm also rating these by if you're solo selling, like these locations and whatnot. I'm taking that into consideration. Okay, next we're going to talk about the weakest MC business, if you even want to call it that. I call it a headache, honestly. The document forgery, Textile City. I'm going to believe that this one is the best one in the game. Again, this is another business that I do not have. I don't feel I have the best one of. I believe Textile City is the best one. As you can see, based on how much it is, the game probably agrees with me that is the best one. I have the one up in Grapeseed. The perks I have in the one by Grapeseed is the spawn. It's literally right close to the spawn point for the helicopters and for the seaplanes as well. So there is the plus to that. But overall, I think Textile City is probably... See, there's where my Forge Docks is. And now we're hunting for Textile City. It's around in this area. There you go. It's right in there. So it's about middle of the city. So it's not too far off from like where your weed, that downtown Vinewood weed would be. So yeah, no, that's not too bad. I mean, again, you're gonna be going that highway more than likely, going by the casino, but at least it's not going to take you too long to start making drops in the desert. So I believe that's the best Forge Docks. Again, don't expect to make a lot of money on the Forge Docks. That's another video entirely, so I'm not going to harp too much on that. Alright, so as you can see, I believe that most of the best businesses to own are in the desert. Anything near Alamo Sea, anything by the Gran Sonora Desert, just because, again, I think it's more protected. Right off the bat, there's normally less people up in the desert, so you can go by that as well. Now I want to show you one of the boat routes that you can get if you own a city business. And as we do this, I want to show you that this boat route can be rough. Obviously, this is not the same boat, but I just want to show you the route. The dinghies are lighter, so they cannot take these waterfalls and bumps that's in this boat route. Again, if you own a desert business, you don't get this boat route, or there's another boat route where you take an even narrower boat route, and it's really easy to beach your boat. See, you got a waterfall. And those dinghies, like I said, they're lighter than this boat here. They bounce a lot more. This is I call it the whitewater rafting sail. Again, this is only one of the routes. The other route is probably a little bit worse. See right there, if you don't have someone that's experienced and letting off the gas a little bit, that dinghy could end up getting onto the shore. And you know, the up and atomizer damages boats. It could only take 1 to 2, maybe if you're lucky, to get the boat back in the water before you're destroying your own product. So again, that right there in a dinghy would be pretty tough to pull off. Also, another reason why I don't like selling from the city to the desert is because the seaplanes, like I mentioned before, with the mountains, it makes it a long sail. You can try to cut the mountains off by going over them, and you're going to think, well, you can't go that high. You can go that high, just as long as you hug the mountainside. You know, stay close to the mountain, you're fine. LJT's not going to pester you about being too high. The problem is, the seaplanes don't have the altitude. It has nothing to do with the sail and staying low. The seaplanes just solely don't have the altitude to go over the mountain. They cut out. Like, I have crashed planes just solely because the seaplanes can't go that high in the air. The engine stops, you crash your plane. So, alright, if you agree with me, go ahead, drop a like. If you want to argue with me and tell me why selling from the city to the desert is better, go ahead and leave a comment.